I save 45% and spend 15. Ah, mango, that's not bad. You don't know this, Blade, but I taught economics as a teacher's assistant for a few years, and I couldn't agree with you more. You're spot on, bro. Okay, so I can apply several things from books to ESO. Alright, perfect. Any other recommendations? Okay, so essentially with making money in games, you need to figure out ways. It comes down to this. I always use this expression. It's exactly the heart of the matter. You need to learn to bring items from low yield to high yield. What that means is, there are areas in the game where there's a surplus of items that people just don't want. You have to figure out where that is, and you have to go acquire them for a low price. Then you have to figure out the high yield, the area where in-game players want them and want them quickly, and they want them in their final form, and they're going to pay a premium for it. And they have their own sources of income from either PvP, stealing loot, or questing, or grinding, whatever it is. But they want the end-tier thing, and they want it fast. So essentially, you need to consider merchants as the invisible hands of the marketplace. Without merchants, people to buy and sell the items from both people trying to sell it and then also people trying to get it, you would have people that could only sell items for their end use, which would be almost impossible, if you can imagine that. That would mean, you know, the farmers that were out there getting the wheat, would not be able to sell to a trucking company or a processing plant. They would have to be sold directly to the person taking the wheat and turning it into bread. You need merchants in the middle to move things from people that want to sell it to buy it. So essentially, you have to consider it like merchants are doing people a favor. If there's an area where there's a lot of gold mines and everybody can just continuously get gold in the game, or why don't we say iron in the game, and they're everywhere, you just have to walk by, use a pickaxe on a stone or something, and you get iron. You get a bunch of it. They're everywhere. There's a ton of people collecting it. And there's probably a lot of new players just kind of wandering into this area, collecting it. They're like, oh great, what is it? I've destroyed a few of mine, I've vendored some. But imagine that you're an armor smith that can, I don't know how this game works, but we'll just say use a ton of it quickly by using it in refineries or workshops or things like that. So they need a surplus. So this person that needs tons and tons and tons of it will usually buy it pretty high. They're like, here, give me 1,000 units of this. And they'll buy it on the marketplace when it shows up, stuff like that. You go to where it's harvested, where people just don't want it, and you offer whatever price. It can literally be a third of the price or something like that. And just say, here, I have this that I want to buy. If you guys get any iron ore, give it to me. Players come over and they trade you for it, and you give them gold, and they're really happy with you. Because, number one, it's not worth that much to them. So you have to keep in mind that when you're charging, or when you're paying a low price for an item, you're not manipulating anyone, you're not hurting them, and you're not taking their wealth. Because it's through the mutual agreement of two people that want to make a transaction. And only if your gold is more valuable to them than their items are, will they trade with you. So you want to offer as low as you possibly can, and it's actually a better thing to do in society to buy low and sell high if you can, and it doesn't take advantage of anybody. Because it basically makes the customers win, and it increases competition and forces innovation. But we don't have to get too complex with this. So then you go to this iron mine and you collect a whole ton of it from a bunch of players that just started out. And once you have a surplus, you spent all day doing this. A bunch of people logged in, they spent 10 minutes, they did this. It might not be too serious, they don't care, they just want some gold for the next sword. You take a horde of it, you go to the guy that you know has this processing plant, and you say, hey, I have 700 pieces of iron ore. I'm going to sell it to you for this price. And usually they're like, great, that sounds good. And it can be double what you paid for. Then you know what you can do? Once you figure out a way to make money in a game like that, then you systemize it. Then you can have friends or new players and say, hi, what I would like you to do is go to this location and stand there for an hour. How much money do you make in a game in an hour? 5K. Great. I'm going to give you 7K for an hour to help me out. They'll be like, great, it's extra money. Sure, it's more money than I can ever make in this game. I want money. So for 7K, I'm going to help you out. What you do is you go and you find players there that will then give you those items for whatever price it is that you want to collect. You have them out there working for you, making more money than they could make otherwise. You then have your entire time freed up. Then you get all of the items that you got for the same low price. You already have your contracts, or at least your agreements with people that want to buy those items, and you basically built a company in a game. And as long as there's an MMO that has free trading, you can do this in any system. In this game, there's literally, as far as I know, no iron fields. There's no manufacturing iron plants. I don't know. I made up the entire thing. It makes sense as an example because that's how you make money. That's the process of moving things from low yield to high yield, and that's what you need to think about in any game or in real life. But that's what I've always used everywhere, and it always works. Good luck, you guys. Now I'll catch up on chat. Let's see. Post a screenshot. Go for it. Scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up. Can't be ours. There you go, Wabacha. That's funny. I would say very well on your way. Yeah, Jay Woody is young and reading, and he's got his goals. Hey, we should try to add the ungod person. Oh, Key is the group leader. He's right next to us. What server though? Yep, so Lion server. What about man with beard? You're crazy. Let's see. I love when Blade talks about investing. It makes me happy. Thanks, man. Same. Blade equals guru. Thanks, DJ. Chicken wins. Blade. Papa Blade teaching us basic capitalism. Yeah, capitalism. That's why I love it. It's the only system in the world where it allows people to elevate themselves to whatever level they want to, because they have the right to work as hard as they want, whenever they want, for as long as they want. That's great. It's fantastic. Blade Bro, we have a guy who's next to us. I'm not the group leader. Party leader isn't seeing him. Yeah, we'll see if keyboard found him. Hashtag intelligent bow quest. Leave the link. You just gave a short business seminar through a video game. Welcome to my stream, Chicken Wins. It's what I do. Promise it's not spam. Oh, no worries. Try whispering it to a moderator that might be able to check it and post it. What if it comes down to, you know, an advantage of the game, you can take advantage of that players that may not know about. You aren't taking advantage of the players, you're taking advantage of knowledge. Exactly. And what happens with investors and merchants is that they get paid for their knowledge of the marketplace. There's really no such thing as profit. Profit is really just the salary of an investor. You've spent the work, you've learned the marketplace, and then what you do by setting up these systems, you're getting paid for your knowledge of how to move goods from where they're not wanted to where they are wanted, and you get paid for providing that service. It's literally how it works. So it's just faulty thinking when people think people get it taken advantage of when